Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And in Eight of Swords, we've been thinking ourselves into a box, right? I think that we've been tangled up with some kind of analysis, some kind of a struggle to figure something out, right? And I think that we've been wrapping ourselves around and around and around with our thoughts to the point where maybe we're not even sure which way is up. Kind of feel like we don't even know how to go about making any progress right now. It's almost as if we've made this so complicated now that we're not even sure how to do the simple things, right? Let's put this into some context. Let's see what we can do about this, right? And it's a good card to start with because we have to know that this is going on before we can do anything about it, right? Let's keep going. Let's throw some more cards down. Oh, well, there's clarity. Problem solved, right? Problem, solution. The clarity, right? And it's not really through the clarity, it's not clarity through complication, it's clarity through simplicity. Looking at things from a different angle. Oh, there's the Wheel of Fortune. Realizing, you have to excuse my chest and throat today. Realizing that it's not really something for us to have to figure out. It's just the way things are going. There's nothing that complicated about it. It's just the timing was off, right? It's just that things happen on a certain cycles, certain energy waves, right? But we're trying to figure out what we did wrong. We're trying to figure out, like, why didn't it work? What could I do differently? How am I going to make this all better? It's just the way the wheel turns, right? So you're getting this kind of cosmic enlightenment here, which does give you a lot, Nine of Cups, gives you a lot of freedom, right? There's the clarity. See, now this cosmic clarity is actually bringing a literal solution to the problem at hand, okay? We have a Prince of Wands, the Devil card, ooh, the Lust or Strength card, and a Five of Cups. Now, this, there's a lot of major arcana energy here, right? I feel like the timing here was, because this is the Wheel of Fortune, this is Spirit's wristwatch, this is the cosmic timepiece. And we can't understand all about the cosmic cycles. I mean, we try, and we try to time things according to celestial events and cosmic events and spiritual energy and, you know, spiritual cycles and the divine plane. And its functions, but we can't know everything about that. So there's a lot of trusting in the process, trusting in the flow of energy. I don't understand it, I can't predict it, but we're gonna go with it, right? And with the Eight of Swords, I feel like we're trying to figure out why something happened and, you know, how it could have happened that way and what we could have done about it and what we're supposed to do with it. And these are all questions that, yes, that's good for introspection, but ultimately our understanding is not required. You know, we could think this all day and all night for the rest of our lives. It's not going to change the simple reality of things. It just wasn't the right time. Okay? It just wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time. I have to excuse my throat. I think I'm getting, I don't know, there's another cold or something. Anyway, things are going to happen as they happen. Our participation is not required. Our approval is not required. Our understanding is not required. Nothing really is required of us, right? It's all, that's on us. How we experience the universe is not the universe's fault, right? Things just didn't work out that time. And maybe this was a business venture. Maybe this was a relationship. I see a lot of ambition here in you, okay? I feel that there is still a mountain that you are climbing. I feel like maybe we started to climb it and we slid all the way back to the beginning, right? It didn't work out. We didn't get there. I don't think there was anything that you did wrong. I think that's kind of what Spirit's saying with all this air energy here. That there is a realization here that it's not anything wrong with you. It just wasn't the right time. You've got the ambition. You've got the spirit for it. All we need to do is change the perspective, right? The hanged man here is swimming in this sea of emotions, and we just have to spin that the right way. Look at this from a different angle, not see it as a loss, not see it as a failure on our part, and certainly not see it as an indication of our value. Just because this failed does not mean that you are a failure, okay? We have to change the way this hanged man is flowing. Now, before we get further into this, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It's going to go right here. Tiny Bob Ross right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during the program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put a prediction or a guess or anything down in the comments, right? First thing that comes to your mind, okay? Let's take a look. We got major, 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 major. The spiritual energy is in full force, and I think that you are getting this kind of cosmic clarity, realizing that we are part of the entire universe, but at the same time, the universe is going to function whether we like it or not, whether we are here or not, whether anybody is here to perceive it. The universe will be the universe. Things will flow on. The wheel will keep turning. And sometimes, I think maybe right now it feels like you're kind of at the bottom of the wheel. You know, feels like we're between the rubber and the road, kind of getting squished, right? Well, that's changing. I feel like it's changing mainly because of your perspective. It depends. In outer space, there's no up and down, right? So when we're on the bottom of the wheel, all we have to do is change our perspective, and then it looks like we're at the top of the wheel, right? So it really is a matter of how we're looking at things, how we are thinking about them, how we are feeling about them. The thinking and feeling, the heart and mind, are influenced by how we look at it, right? What did Wayne Dyer say? Change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Change your perspective, you change your mind and your heart, right? And that's what we see with the Five of Cups at the end here. The emotions are changing, the feelings are changing. There might be disappointment now. There might be suffering and loss and failure now. But Spirit is promising that if you have faith and trust in the universe, in Spirit, all that's going to turn around. Okay. Now, we've got the majors. We got some fire. We've got some water. We've got some air. We don't have any earth energy right now, and I think really what that's saying is that you started to do something, it didn't materialize. Okay? I think that we were following the signs, the symbols, the synchronicities, and things didn't work out. And you know what that does? It makes us start to doubt the spiritual energies, right? We start to question our own faith. Well, I trusted. You know, I did everything I could, and I tried to go with the flow. I tried to trust in Spirit, and I didn't get what I wanted. Yeah. In some ways, the universe doesn't care. Right? It wasn't your fault. Nothing you did wrong. It just wasn't the right time. Okay. I think this has a lot to do with I don't know if it's business or money or something, but it has something to do with manifesting, with materializing something that you feel, something you desire, something you want, something that you perceive as being your purpose, your mission, right? Your fate, your destiny. Okay. And if our expectations don't line up with what is actually going on, if the way I see something and the way Spirit is showing it to me are different, if something doesn't add up, I guarantee the problem is the way we're looking at it. Okay? And with the Eight of Swords here, I feel like you're going through a bit of a crisis of faith. Because I feel as if we have certain expectations. And when those expectations aren't being met, we think there's a flaw in the system. We think there's something wrong, either with me or with them. With this or with that, right? But there's not. It's just a misalignment. It's just the planets and the stars are all spinning around and around and around, and the two just didn't happen to line up at the right time, the time that you thought they should. Okay, so we start to doubt. We start to doubt ourselves. We start to doubt our faith. We start to doubt the universe, everything, right? And now we're trying to figure out what is going on. What is the problem? And sometimes we say the problem is me. Sometimes we say the problem is you. It doesn't matter. Both are incorrect, as according to Spirit right now. Okay, because there is no problem. The reality is that what you wanted did not materialize. That's okay. That's okay. What is important is that you try to look at this from a different angle, not looking at it as a failure. Here's the Hanged Man. Not looking at this like I did something wrong and I'm suffering for it. I'm paying the price for my mistakes. Okay? What if there were no mistakes? What if it was just a misalignment of energy? And this was a very necessary failure, right? Or failure to manifest. What if this was very necessary as part of your process of manifesting? Right? With the Hanged Man here, I feel like you're somebody that really, you tend to take things personally. I feel like when something goes wrong, you're strongly affected by it. Yeah. I think your mind and your emotions, they are interconnected, right? And I think that you tend to take things personally, and you tend to get, for lack of a better word, you get kind of bummed out, right? We start to doubt ourselves. We start having negative or pessimistic feelings about that, and we start doubting ourselves even more. And then we're kind of getting upset with ourselves just for being upset. You know, we're getting mad at ourselves because we're getting emotional, over the situation. And it's just a cycle. It keeps feeding into itself. Yeah. And it's hard not to. I understand when something doesn't go the way we're expecting it to, we feel like it's a personal affront. Like Spirit is angry with us or something, that what have I done wrong that the universe is treating me this way? We've got to get over that. We've got to look at this for however you need to look at it, to understand that this is a necessary part of the bigger picture. And we need to fall back on our faith, our hope, and our trust that this is happening for a reason, even if we have to invent a reason. See, Spirit doesn't have a reason. Spirit doesn't need a reason. Yeah. We invent the reason. Okay. And whatever we have to do in order to bring our suffering around the other way, to look at this as not a failure, but a triumph. I This is something that I can overcome. This is something that isn't a failure of me to manifest, my will or my goals or my desires. This is an opportunity for me to overcome a challenge and get ever closer to manifesting my reality. So in some ways, yeah, it's a little bit of this. We have to convince ourselves of the reason why things are happening the way they are. Whether it's true and accurate or not, doesn't really matter. What matters is we see things in a positive light. And when I say a positive light, it's not about denying how we feel. But it's about thinking of things in a way that's going to allow us another opportunity, right? That's going to empower us to continue on rather than to make us just kind of want to give up. Two people can see the same event, and one could look at it as the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Another one can say, this was the best thing that ever happened to me. Now, in 2010, I almost died. I was in the ICU for weeks. I had organ failure. Really, everything failed except for my heart. My heart was still beating. And my brain, obviously, was still working. I guess. I don't know. That's debatable. But, I had liver failure, kidney failure. Everything was shutting down. And I ended up having a liver transplant. And here it is now, almost, however many years later, 14 years later almost. And I could look back on that situation. And at the time, it was rough because I was thinking that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. How can I go on? I've slid all the way down the mountain. I felt like I was starting my life over from scratch. In fact, there's a song by Morphine called Scratch. I listened to it on repeat. I felt that I slid all the way down to the bottom and I had to start over again. And I did. I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn to talk and swallow and eat and, I had to learn to breathe all over again. I was intubated for weeks. And at the time, it was easy to fall into a bit of a depression. It was easy to say, I'm being punished for something. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I don't know how I could ever go on from this or how my life could ever be anything from this point on. But then there came a time. I think it was like a gradual shift. I don't think it was a sudden moment where I started thinking about it. But suddenly now I realize that was not suddenly. But I've come to realize that was the best thing that had ever happened to me. Right? Because that set me on the path to be right here where I am today. And at the time, it's hard to see that because I couldn't walk and I could barely talk and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, this is a long way away from where I was before. I had a good job and all this stuff. But as time went on, I realized that this is the path that I was supposed to be on. And that obstacle happened for a reason. Now, maybe I have to invent the reason. I have to say, well, of course it happened for a reason. The reason was because the path I was on was the wrong path, right? Obviously, because I'm not on it anymore, right? So things have changed, and I had to learn new skills and relearn old things and build my life back up again, but that's exactly what I was supposed to be doing. Okay? Now, we're in the middle of a hardship, and it's really difficult to see that angle. Okay, but I guarantee that when this wheel turns a little bit further and you're out of the worst of it, you'll begin to realize that this is the path that you are meant to be on. This is the work that you are meant to be doing. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. If this was an abrupt change of course for you, or if this was an attempt to reach a goal and you failed, or it didn't work out, right? It was not supposed to work out at that time. There was something that you don't perceive. There was some aspect of this that you're probably never going to be aware of. but it's like it saved your butt. It's like you dodged a bullet, but you'll never know. You see what I mean? Anyway, the Nine of Cups at the top of the path of the dove. You always have had a sense of your destiny. You've always had this sense of that you're pursuing a certain life. You know, it's this feeling that we've always been on the path, right? And I think in this situation, whatever has been going on with you, whatever we're trying to come to terms with and trying to figure out now, maybe it feels as if suddenly you're not on the path anymore. Well, Spirit's saying that you are. Spirit's saying that there's nothing for us to really have to figure out. What matters is that you're still you. And maybe there's been some kind of a medical thing that's been going on. Maybe it's a financial thing. Maybe it's relationships are not going the right way. You are still at your core an illuminated spiritual being. Okay? And you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Sometimes the terrain gets a little rough and rocky. We think of a star going through its orbit in space. Sometimes it has to go through like an asteroid field, or, sometimes it gets too close to other stars or too far away from other stars, and it's not the most fun part of the trip. But it's a necessary part. Okay. And I think this enlightenment is coming upon you, and you're starting to realize this, okay? But what I also want to point out is that, you do have to maybe start over from scratch. Maybe you are starting from the base of the mountain again, but you know what? You have a certain wisdom, a certain enlightenment that happened here that's going to allow you to not only recover the ground that you lost, but exceed your previous, like best record, You're going to beat your own record here a lot faster than you would have, okay? Because of this situation, now we have to be able to distill the wisdom out of that. We've got the Ace of Swords here. You need to know not what you did wrong and how terrible you are because it didn't work. What did you learn that will help you do better next time? Okay? So we got to get out of this heart-mind complex where it's just reinforcing itself that I failed, I'm terrible, I'm miserable, this didn't work, it's never going to work. No, let's figure this out. Let's say, okay, let's shine a light on it. Shine a light on how we feel. Sure, we have to feel how we feel. But shine a light on the facts of the situation outside of how you feel about those facts. What happened? Right? What were your actions? What were their actions? What were the circumstances? How can we do better next time? How can we recover the ground that we lost? How can we regain the progress that we've made? And how can we exceed that progress? Okay. So there's a simplification that's taking place with the Ace and the 8. Right? That this enlightenment is realizing that we're wasting a lot of mental energy here. What we need is just this, we need to clear our mind, really. I think you've done enough of the analysis. Now's the time to refocus on the kind of life that you want, your dream life, right? What is this Wheel of Fortune that you are trying to manifest? We need to clear our mind, get back to work, right? The Prince of Wands, get back to work. The worst thing that we could do is spend any more time worrying and thinking and overthinking about this. It's best to just get right back on the horse. The more time you spend off the horse, the less likely it will be that you ever get back on. That's why they say in horseback riding, I guess, if you fall off, or riding a bicycle, if you fall off, you got to get right back on. Because if you spend too much time away from it, you're not likely to go back. Okay? We've got to get back to it. This could be a business. It could be a family thing. It could be your pursuit of, the ideal relationship or, a long-term partnership, creative expression. It could be your religious practices. Okay? The longer you stay away from the tools of your art, whatever they may be, the longer you stay away from the tools of your art, the less likely it is that you're going to go back to it. We got to let that sink in. Okay. And with the devil card here in the position of the environment, we kind of have to have this almost obsessive energy about us, this ambition that we are just, maybe we fell down the mountain. Well, that's all right. Pick up, dust ourselves off, right back up the mountain, right back even faster than before, even better than before. Right. Anyway, the devil card is that ambition. Yeah. And the next card, the Leo card, the lust or strength card, is us performing that magic. This is us, with the courage to keep climbing. The courage really to endure those fluctuating emotions, because I guarantee this is not going to be the last time that you feel discouraged or the last time that you feel things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. The lust or strength card is our ability to keep going despite the obstacles, despite the hardships. This is us realizing that we have this power to overcome any obstacle. We have the power to create the reality that we want. That's our magic, right? And it's also our magic how we look at things. You create, again, two people looking at the same event. They have different realities of that event. We have to be intentional about how we look at things. We go through life looking at everything in its negative aspect. That's the life. That's our reality. That's what we're creating. We go through life trying to find the positive in things, trying to find the benefit in things, trying to find the hidden wisdom or the hidden message or the enlightenment in things. Well, that's what we'll have. We go through life trying to find the magic in everything, the wonder of life, and that's what we'll find. That's the kind of life that we'll create. Okay? And that goes with the 9 of Cups. What is the life that you want to create? What is the experience of life that you want? Not what is the thing you want. What's the feeling of life? What's the vibe? Whatever that vibe is, we have to realize that we are responsible for creating that vibe. No matter what happens in the universe, whatever happens to us, it's still our responsibility to create the vibe we want. Right? And the 5 of Cups here with the Hanged Man, these are the cards that we've got to turn around. And we can. And I'm not saying that when you're sad, you just have to pretend to be happy. No, that's not what I mean. You could try to understand that sadness or whatever emotion has its place in life, that it is necessary, if only for a little bit of contrast in life. Let's do some botanical inspiration cards. Let's do a couple of these. One for the 5 of Cups, one for the Hanged Man. The Peony. Prosperity and compassion. Prosperity depends more on wanting what you have than on having what you want. So again, it's this idea of the circumstances that we have now. We wish they were something different, right? But this is what we've got. This is what we have right now, you know? So we have to find a way to accept that and to utilize that. Let's do one more for the Hanged Man here. The Lilac. First, emotions of love. Love is the magician that pulls you out of your own hat. Right? Love is the magician that pulls you out of your own hat. Love makes the world go round, right? This is very fitting. Because we're talking about the magic, right? I almost wonder if the mystery card will be the magician. because we are responsible, right? And if we look at everything like love, even when there is pain or heartbreak or loss or failure, right? Or some kind of like let's say we lost some money, or we didn't get the job, we didn't get the promotion. If we still try to look at everything from a perspective of love, and love as in our desire for union, our striving for union with, spirit, union with that dream life, right? That fortune that we want. There's something kind of romantic about life, right? Somebody who's on that kind of a quest for their, whatever kind of like their fame and fortune, right? Whatever you've been dreaming of. This is the dream that keeps on dreaming. This is the happiness that keeps on happening. We always have that mission, that quest. We're always operating from that place of love, even when there are setbacks and everything else. We never give up on that dream, right? Let's look at the mystery card now. Magician here, or Two of Cups, or Ace of Cups. Yeah, that's. If you have a prediction, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'm thinking Magician, Ace of Cups, Two of Cups. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh my gosh, it's the Wheel of Fortune again. We started the reading off saying something didn't work out, it just wasn't the right time. But that time is coming. I think this was the last attempt, didn't work. And if you quit, you'll never get there. I think the Spirit's saying that, okay, this one didn't work. The next time is going to work. If you try it again, you'll be surprised. But if you quit now, you'll never get here. This is the fortune that you've been dreaming of. And Spirit's saying, here it is. It hasn't gone anywhere. You've got to keep dreaming the dream. You've got to keep the dream alive, right? If you quit now, there's no chance of this. You got to keep pushing. Because I think that this is it, right? And I think it's here. I think it's closer than you think. I think the reason why there's this kind of, almost this idea of kind of giving up or quitting is because this is like the final test, because what you are dreaming of, the fortune that you want, is right there. You're almost there. You've just got to get over this last hump. Okay? Anyway, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Libra every Wednesday and Saturday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, does not cost you anything. Leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.